Last time out in the Youth Academy Challenge, we secured our third straight league title in a row, and I was hoping that this would be enough to make us a 3.5-star team at long last, because of all the things we've been doing in both the domestic and continental competitions. It didn't do it. Despite the fact we've now got over 600,000 people following us, and we got a season ticket holders waiting list that's almost the same size as the number of season ticket holders we have, it didn't make an impact at all. And I'm now starting to think, is the stadium the reason why we haven't improved our reputation? I know what you're thinking. How could this make an impact? Well, I'm looking at the fact we've got a 15,000 seater stadium, and I think we can improve that. But the capacity we have for the expansion is only 19,000. And my main question now is this: could we just double the size of the stadium to 30 or 40,000 seats and make up all the money we are potentially losing right now compared to our local rivals? Given that we were filling the stadium up by 95%, it makes sense in my mind to do something about it. And I'm going to make the decision, a very questionable decision, especially now we're expected to be in the top 3 places this season, not next season, but this season. They are expecting us to do quite well here. They want me to get to the latter stages of the Puchar Polski, which is understandable, be competitive in the Champions League, and be competitive in the Super Puchar Polski, which I do want to win again. But I'm actually going to go to the board for the very first time, and I'm going to ask them to build a new stadium. Not to buy a stadium because we don't even own it, but to build it. So we're going to see what happens. So this is not going to be just going over the squad. We want to look at more than just that. But we want to maintain a club status as the most reputable club in Poland as well, which we absolutely want to do. And being a 3.5-star team, the only one in the country to be a 3.5-star team, would make sense in my mind. And the reason I decided to go for this idea now is because we've got 93.1 million in the bank. The stadium is not even owned by us, so I'm hoping that because we own the stadium, we can make more money. And also, we've actually not even in the top half of the biggest stadiums in the league. Yes, that's right. We're actually in the bottom half of the stadium size capacities in the entire division, despite being the champions for the last 3 years. So, as far as I'm concerned, that is reason enough to want to get a new stadium. We are now expected to be the 4th best team in the division, so the board want us to be a top 3 team. It's almost ominous, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting to say the least. Oh, we've also been linked with Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, so there you go. We're apparently quite a big manager now in terms of reputation. Seriously, how am I a 4-star reputation manager and the club's not even a 3.5-star reputation club? I don't understand that, but I'm also now known for leading teams to title wins, so there you go. But yeah, we're now going to go with the squad anyway, because we might as well do it since we're here. And yes, I should probably go with the squad when the players come back for their loans and our players leave, but I'm going to do it anyway now. Novak's still our first choice goalkeeper. He's still quite good, and he's now 23 and has got more caps for Poland, so happy days. Poland got knocked out of the World Cup in the 3rd round by Slovakia of all teams. It was disappointing. Vastic is our 2nd best goalkeeper in the team, who's currently at the club, so there's that. Sokol is doing quite well out on loan, though his team that he was on loan with got relegated. While Savinsky was out on loan as well, and he's doing quite well for himself. So we've got a load of good goalkeepers at the club and out on loan. I'm happy for way here. So Matthias Kowalski is our best right back now. He's a leading player for his division. He's also consistent, and he's fairly determined. Not driven or anything like that, but he's doing quite well for himself. I think we can make sure this guy is our star. Okay is the 2nd best right back of the team. He's a good player for this division, and he's a resolute personality. Yes, he doesn't like big matches, but he's also 28. We've also got Lipka, who could play both right back and left back. I used him as left back last year. We've also got Lipka, who could play as both a left back and a right back. We used him as a left back quite a bit last year, and he's now a decent player for his division at the age of 17. We've also got Kokoska, who can play as a centre back and can play as a full back on either wing. Not that I really plan on using him as a wing back, to be completely honest with you. He hasn't got the crossing or the dribbling for that role. And honestly, I like him better as centre back, quite frankly. his 6'1" frame is better as a centre-back. He's also considered a decent player for his division, despite just being a 2-star player at the age of 16. Smolder is our number 1 choice as centre-back right now. He's also only 21. He's got a cap for Poland. He is wanted by Lega Warsaw, but a leading player for his division now. A perfectionist. I have no reason not to like him, even if he's only 6 foot. Yes, he can do both passing, but let's be honest, that's not the aim of his game here. Niger is also quite a good centre-back and has got 6 caps for Poland. He's only considered a good centre-back, unlike his partner, but he could also play as a left-back if we needed him to. Do I really want to use him as a wing-back on attack? Probably not, but he's a good player for his division. Yes, he's inconsistent, but he likes big matches, and he can play in 2 different roles for the team, so he's useful in that regards. Last year, I was looking at Mitura and thinking I could use him. He got upset, so I sent him out on loan to Czech Republic, and he did okay. Not amazing, mind you. He was terrible, actually, but he was okay enough that he's, while very inconsistent and fickle, is still considered a good player for our division. So that's not too bad when you think about it, because he could always be worse. The fact he got a full season in centre-back while out in the Czech Republic's top division is useful, to say the least. So Vusek was one of those players I thought would be really good and had good potential, but he's not as good as I hoped he would be. Only a decent player, could only improve a lot apparently, which for me isn't a good sign. But yeah, maybe I got too excited about this guy's potential because while he's got 2 goals for us in 28 matches, hasn't really shown what I was hoping he would show me. So maybe I did get a bit too excited for this guy's potential too soon. At least we've got this guy to talk about and to be his replacement, but hey, long term, we're excited either way. Also, I gave Dildo a new contract for a 2-year deal. I kind of like him, even though he is only a decent player. He can be a good player in the future, so he likes big matches, he's consistent, and he's got things I like. Despite the fact I know I shouldn't have given him a new contract, I just like this guy too much to not give him a contract, really. It says a lot that only one person is considered really good for this place. It kind of says a lot that there's only one person that is actually not a centre-back or right-back naturally that I can talk about here in left-back position, which tells me that this is my weakest area now. And Adamsuk is actually the weakest part of the team here. Yeah, I am not so keen on him. He's only a decent player for the 2nd tier, and he hates big matches. This guy might need to go. This might be his last year at the club, and I've given it a lot of games over the years. How many times did I start this guy? Not really a lot. Like half the games he's played for us, he started, if not less than that. Yeah, I don't like this guy, I think, as much as I thought I did, so maybe this guy is going to go this year. With that being said, Franzak is the person that could probably come in as the right back in the meantime, long term. Yes, right back, not left back. Lipka, I think, is my first choice as a left back now. Francia is the 2nd choice for the right back position. It says a lot that I can say that, but there you go. Borlek is our club legend here. Loves big matches. Fan favourite. Consistent-ish. He's a good player for this division apparently, but he loves big matches. I like him a lot. And he's a resolute personality, so yes, he hasn't got the physicals to really be impressive, but I don't need him to have the physicals as long as he does his job, which is just be a playmaker. And as a deep line playmaker, he doesn't need the physicals to be useful, does he? And also with Vusek as well, being here, he is the physicals guy, and as the DM who could be really good in that position, Vusek is the guy I can use there. And yes, he's not really as good in the big games. He's more consistent too. I do need to give him a new contract, I just realized. So yeah, this guy's going to need a new contract, so let's do that now. But if all things go badly, Adamsik is the person we can bring in next. Yes, he's wanted by a few clubs. Yes, he's only got 2 years left in his current deal, but he's 20. He's young. He's a good player for this division. Yes, he's inconsistent. Yes, he's not great at finishing, but as a playmaker, do I need him to be that good? Probably not. So, exciting player either way. Vavitsuk we sent on loan to Syria B last year, which is saying a lot. He's consistent, yes, but he's only a good player for the 2nd tier, so do I use this guy a lot? Or do I sell him on? I have to figure that one out. But I think he can only be a good player. He likes big matches though. He is consistent. I have a reason to like this guy. Smilex is one of those players that in the centre midfield, we can't help but love. This guy is easily our best midfielder in my mind, along with Jasinski. He's also been playing for Poland in the World Cup, a leading player for this division, and he's consistent. Yes, I've been paying him about 10, 11 grand a week, but I think he's worth it for an international level player. He's just really good. And yes, Mariusz Jasinski is also really good, but you could have noticed something here. Disappointed not to be able to join Newcastle. Yep, Newcastle made a bid for him. I turned it down. He's got 4 years left in his current deal and an extension that I can activate anytime. He's a leading player for his division. He's consistent. He's also fairly sporting, which honestly isn't as big of a thing I should really mention, but he's only 19. Why would I sell this guy when I've only used him for 1 year? His loan spell last year in the second tier was amazing, and last season we used him. Why would I sell him otherwise? Honestly, Nick is one of those players that can be useful anywhere I need him to be. He's a good player for this division, but other than that he's consistent, I don't really know where I want to use him. He's not a ball-winning midfielder. He could be a Mazzala. He could be a box-to-box. I just use him anywhere I need him to be because he's got great stamina, he's got great strength, and he's just useful. We've also got Szymanski, who could be a DM. We could use him as a midfielder. This guy is useful. He's a decent player for this division, and he likes big matches. In fact, he relishes big matches. So again, another player we can bring back from Germany this year. Okay, so Davidovic is one of those players that I think is going to be a star for us long term. He's only 18. And despite having that really nasty injury where he broke his ankle, he's been really good. Yes, he's inconsistent, but look at the state of him at the age of 18. He's determined. He is a good player for this division. Yes, he's inconsistent. Yes, he's not that great at long shots. Well, let's be honest. Does he need to be when I'm using him as an inverted winger on attack? Okay, apparently I might need to be good with that, but cross is not amazing. But he's still really good for his age. And I don't know, I just like the state of this guy. He's got a lot of potential to be really good, and he's still improving. Bolek is one of those players that has been around for a long time. He's 27 years of age now. He's a resolute personality. He's consistent. He likes big matches. He's just been useful for over the years. And 50 goals in 325 matches as a right winger? It's not a bad record at all, is it really? Gopkowski was out on loan to Firth last year, and they did quite well. He's a decent player for this division. Yes, he's inconsistent, but we could definitely work with that. Wojciechowski was out on loan in Serie B last year. Barely played. They got relegated, so I think the fact that he wasn't played is the reason why they got relegated, really, but that's me being biased. He's one of those players that, yeah, he's not amazing, but I need to give him first team football. He's only got bad personality. I need to send him out on loan again, I think. Sawinski is one of those players that I think has potential, but never really seems to fill a void. He's got 10 goals in 35 matches for me, so he's not terrible. He's definitely got the ability. I just don't know where to put him. Pietrkowski is also one of those players that has the potential, but doesn't seem to know where to fit. And he needs another loan spell as a left winger or right winger. He's just really confusing to me. Couture is one of those players that, again, could be amazing, but doesn't really feel like it. I might get rid of him because he doesn't like big matches, so there's that. I can afford to be picky with my right wingers this year. Kimmich might be the player that's taken the left wing spot this year, and that says a lot when he's only 19 and he's only got a 3-year deal with us. He's a good player for his division, and he's got potential to be even better, and that's the scary part about him. I just think he's going to be amazing, even if he's inconsistent. The person he's ousting right now is Supreme, who is also really good, but I'm also overpaying massively. 19 grand a week is far too much money for this guy's ability, but it was to keep hold of him when the bigger teams wanted him at the time, and I didn't have anyone that can really fill his role. But yeah, consistent, likes big matches, fan favourite, determined. There's a lot of things I liked about it at the time, but I definitely overpaid for him. which is why I'm never going to be happy with just winning the league title every year. I need to win everything in the competition in the country in the same year to feel justified now. Pietron is one of those players that can be amazing, but doesn't seem to live up to the expectations I have of him. And the fact he's only a good player for the second tier and is inconsistent means I might get rid of him. Though he did get a team promoted as champions this year, so maybe I send him out on loan to them again. Actually, let's propose it loan extension. Do you want him again? Let's find out. Nes Godard is one of those players that I really like. For one reason or another, I should give him a new deal, but yeah, he was out on loan last year. He's unambitious and he's a good second tier player, but that's about it. He's got a lot of speed otherwise, so let's give him a new deal because he's got a lot of potential. When I look at the striker's position, I look at just 2 players, but now I look at this and think I've got plenty of options here and it's wonderful. Weber Kowalski is one of those players that has been amazing. 158 goals in 317 appearances over the years in the league. And he's still driven. He still wants to do more and more. He likes big matches. He is consistent. And I just like him. I really do. He's still getting better as well, which is amazing to me. And then we got Jarius Jasinski, who has got 83 goals in 209 appearances. And he still likes getting better. But the only difference is he doesn't like big matches. So how long do I keep using this guy when I know that I've got suitors for him around the world? And also, he's only got 1 year left in his contract, so I should give him a new deal, right? And there you go, sorted. I should mention this now, but we are now up to 12th place in the coefficients, 1 place away from being 11th and moving up in the world, but we need to have a good year since we're losing an 8.8 point season in the coefficients, so if we can match that or surpass it, then we're looking good, I think. And the reason I want that is because I want to keep these extra positions and actually improve upon that. Really, ideally, we want to get in the top 9 positions, but we can definitely work on this otherwise, and it feels like we can just improve overall, I feel like, at this point in time. That being said, though, we are moving up in the world. We're currently in 38th place in the coefficients, which is actually ridiculous when you think about it, and we're only 1 point behind Crystal Palace, who got to the Europa League final, so if we have another good year, we could definitely improve again, because we've got a 10.5 year we're losing right now. I definitely need to match that or surpass it, and given that the last 2 years we've got a 17-point season every single time, I think we could surpass that again. Also, this is useful because of the fact that there is money involved, and we're now in 55th place in this, so we're looking quite good in the financial side of things, of the revenue as well, because we get more money as a result of how well we do in Europe. So, again, lovely stuff. We've also got a lot of players that we can definitely talk about in the development side of things. Grotembetsky is definitely a player that could be exciting. He might already be a 3rd tier player, but his transfer value screens that he's got huge potential, and I think he could be a star for us long term, even if he's inconsistent and is not very strong. I just like him. Sominski is another player that I have high hopes for, even if he's inconsistent. He's got 5-star potential ability, and he's actually one of my teams on loan, so he could get a loan spell this year, which is very useful because it will help him develop, I like to think. We talked about Franzik, and again, I just want to iterate, this guy has a lot of potential. But Koviat is also a player that has great potential and has 5-star potential ability. He's also consistent, and that's exciting to me. Viencik is another player that is really exciting. 2-star current ability, but only 4-star potential ability this time. He's a 2nd tier player. Yes, he's inconsistent. Yes, he's unambitious, but we can definitely work with him. Waski is exciting. A striker, an attacking midfielder, and a winger. He is considered a 2nd tier player, a decent 2nd tier player, but he's on the loan list, so if people want him, he can go out there. He's got a spirited personality, and I think he can definitely thrive in a loan spell. But I'm going to give him a new contract anyway, because I want to keep it around. Well, Herman is a goalkeeper with great potential, but he's got a few cons. Unambitious and hugely inconsistent, so he needs work, but we can definitely work with him either way. News though to talk about, we've now got the 4th highest sponsorship with 2.2 million, though we are still 30.3 million behind the top sponsorship deal. That is ridiculous when you look at it that way, isn't it? Especially when you look at the team that's Boston with just 69k in sponsorship. How are they meant to compete? Okay, good news. They're actually wanting to extend his loan, so he's going to get first team football next year in this division, I like to think. So let's accept it now. We've also broken our tennis record, so that's up again. This is why we need to get a new stadium, because we keep getting closer and closer to the sellouts. It can work. Also, the PS affiliation got terminated because they were promoted to our division. We take on Lech Poznan in the Super Bowl half final. And as a result, we got a new affiliate ourselves, and they're quite a big team, I like to think. Given that this team are two-time champion of this division and have been in the division quite recently, I like to think guessing this team as our affiliate was useful. Even if they only finished 13th last year, look at their facilities. It makes sense to send players out on loan to them, doesn't it? And apparently I got people upset with the fact that I didn't let Jasinski go and leave. This is awkward. I don't want to let him leave. It'll be less competitive. No. Nah. I'm not going to talk to these idiots, honestly. Also, this is what I had to deal with. 2 of my star players, my 2 star centre backs, have been linked with booth elsewhere. That's annoying. And also, Kowalski has been linked with Hamburg. So obviously 3 of my 4 starting defenders are linked with moves elsewhere because we're apparently not that good anymore. Honestly, what the heck is wrong with this? Oh, and Graphics has officially now joined Wisla Block, so there you go. Happy days for him. I hope he enjoys the rest of his career in Poland or anywhere else he ends up going to. He was useful for a while, wasn't he? Also, now that we have actually got to the first, we are still only 4th best in the league, but it could always be worse. And also, our new affiliates are now actually 5th best in the second tier, so how many players do we send down to them, I wonder? Oh, okay, so the board actually don't want to do a stadium increase, which is annoying. I'm going to try and talk to them, so let's talk about this. I thought in order to be the very best, we're going to have a stadium which is up there with anything in the country. Or... oh, what do I do in this situation? I've never been in this situation before where I genuinely need to talk about this. But yeah, this is a lot of things. We're no longer restricted by current minimal expansion potential or the money. Let's do money. Wait, so we're gonna, every team has that. Every team has that problem? I don't know what you're talking about. I think we'll go behind our rivals. I feel like this is going to not go well. Alright, so they said no. Well then, I guess I can't do that. Well, that's awkward. Anyway, I'm going to end this here. On that note, I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. I hope you guys like and share this video and that you all subscribe to the channel. It really does help me a lot. I never tried before, so I want to see what happened if I did. Let me know if you have managed to get that sort of thing to work in the past. But either way, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.